Hi, my name is Amit, and I'm an educator who uses Model Builder in my classroom. In this video, I'd like to take a look at a really powerful feature of Model Builder, which is the self-check function. You can think of completing a model in self-check mode a bit like completing a jigsaw puzzle. You provide students with the pieces of a model that's been designed ahead of time, but the complete model has been taken apart and the pieces put back in the box. Students then have to reconnect those pieces in order to correctly match the original model. And they can check their work as they go to see if they're on the right track without it giving away the whole model. Let's see how this works. We're here on the Model Builder landing page, and we're going to choose a model in self-check mode to complete. To do this, we're going to ignore these three buttons at the top and scroll down. We can see from the text that when we open any of these models, they open in a self-check state. We can also sort the models alphabetically by title and by type: causal, conceptual, and stock and flow. We're going to sort by title, and today we're going to choose the natural selection of the Rock Pocket Mouse 1 model. We can see here that it's a causal model, so it's going to use positive and negative connectors to indicate how one variable affects another, and also that it is modeling how populations of mice respond to predation. You might already be familiar with this phenomenon from other biointeractive resources. When we click the Open Model button here, it takes us to the workspace in self-check mode. At the left here is a bank of pre-made objects, which are listed alphabetically down from the top and can be dragged onto the workspace in order that we can start building the model. Next to them, there are the two types of connectors, positive and negative, and there's also this model instructions information panel, which gives us a lot of important information. It tells us what our overall goal is. Here is to use positive and negative connectors to show how the darkness of the habitat affects the populations of dark and light colored mice by affecting predation. The assumptions define each object for us, and then there are also questions down here that we can consider once we've completed the model, which we will come to later. When students get confused or if they get stuck, pointing them back to this instructions panel can really help them make progress. Once we've read this, we can minimize it and move it around in case it's in our way. Let's start connecting some objects. In a causal model like this one, there are blue positive connector arrows where one object or variable promotes another, and red negative connector arrows where one object or variable inhibits another. For example, we might expect that an increase in predation on dark-colored mice would decrease the population size of those dark-colored mice. So we'd want predation to point to population size with a negative connector to show this inhibition. To make this kind of causal connection, we click the object that we want at the tail of the arrow, here predation, then we click the connector that we want, and then we click the object that we want at the head of the arrow, like that. So it's the object at the tail, then the connector, and then the object that we want at the head of the arrow. And once we've got them connected, we can move the objects or the connectors around. It doesn't affect the model at all. By the way, you might have noticed that there are these hints that appear up here at the top whenever we click on an object. These remind you what you can do with the object, but if you don't need them anymore, you can turn them off here with turn hints off. So how do you know if you've got what you've done right? Well, here's where the self-check feature comes in, and it supports your students' progress without you needing to be there to give them feedback in the moment yourself. When you're working with a model in the self-check mode, when you click on this check button at the top, it compares the model to a hidden answer key and tells you if there's anything missing or incorrect. So here, we've only just started the model, so of course we've got lots of things missing, and we can see a red dot on the object bank to indicate that. Notice though that it doesn't tell us that anything that we've actually put down is incorrect. We can close the check results panel here. But what if we'd used the wrong connector? So let's place a positive connector there, which is incorrect. Now if we click the check function, we can see that not only do we have missing objects, but there's also a connector mistake, and it's got the red dot there indicating that this positive connector is incorrect. By the way, there are undo and redo buttons here at the top that work as you would expect, and you can use them when you make a mistake. You can also click on any object and use either the trash icon here or press the backspace or delete button on your keyboard to get rid of them. Now the model check function only checks that you've got the right objects connected in the right way. It doesn't care about location on the workspace, and so two students' models can look superficially quite different but still be exactly the same, and the self-check function will understand that. Now you can use the check function as many times as you like as you build the model. So let's jump ahead to the completed model now. Once we have the complete model built like this, when you click the check function, we'll see that there are no mistakes found. So that's building a model in self-check mode. Once students have completed the model correctly, they can then answer the questions shown here in the model instructions, which can help them think through what the model represents and make predictions about what might occur in different scenarios. For example, here, they can think about what would happen to populations of dark and light colored mice as the habitat gets darker. Now, as causal models get more complex like this, interpreting the meaning of multiple causal arrows, or especially multiple negative causal arrows in a chain, can be challenging at first. So there's a whole separate video that will help you and your students get confident with that quickly. Please check that out for more, and thanks very much for watching.